Hey, what's up? What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video with ScooterBy666 and AFK Arena. Today, we are gonna go over the basics of AFK Arena and what you need to do to in order to get going in the game. It's a pretty fun game. It took me a little bit to get going in the basics because it doesn't explain some of the basics very well. Like some of the very basics it explains, but it doesn't explain a lot about the factions and who does damage to what and what all some of this stuff means. So I'm going to cover some of that stuff. And hopefully we can get you guys pointed in the right direction. Anyways, the first thing that I want to cover, let's see here, is the factions. Okay, so if you see this symbol right here, that's the light bearers. They do more damage to the maulers. The maulers is this symbol right here. They do more damage to wilders. Wilders do more damage to Graveborns. That's this symbol right here. Graveborns do more damage to Lightbearers, and that is this symbol up at the top. So it's basically a circle. You can see that in this image here. So it's Lightbearers, Maulers, Wilders, and Graveborn. And then, so the other two is the Celestials and the Hypogons? I don't know. I'm probably saying that wrong, but whatever. I'm never very good at that stuff. So the Celestials, and so far I believe there's only one in the game that you can play, and she I think you can only play her currently, let's see here, in the Arcane Labyrinth at one of these abandoned wagons. I'll just show you what I mean. So she's not available in this one, but there's just like 4 random heroes you can pick from, and sometimes she is one of them. She's a Celestial. She has advantage over the Hypogonians, but typically she's pretty solid. Does good damage against any of the 4 main factions also. Let's see. The other is the Hypogons, and they have advantage over the Celestials. The other thing with the Hypogons, let's see here if I can find it real quick. Okay. When you have them on your team, if you have one on your team, and they also, I believe, are currently only in the Arcane Labyrinth. I have gotten one. I have heard there's 3 or 4, I think, currently in the game. But I believe you can only also get those in the Arcane Labyrinth. I could be wrong. You might get them further on in the storyline. I'm only currently on, like, what am I on? Chapter 8. So I'm not that far in yet. But in addition to having advantage over these Celestials, they add plus 30 defense to your team if you have one, plus energy recovered when injured plus 25% if you have 2, crit rating plus 15% if you have 3, critical strike damage plus 30% if you have 4, and then haste plus 15 if you have 5. And then the Celestials are viewed as any of the 4 main factions when talking about faction advantage, which is this stuff up here. And this stuff up here, so if you have 3 light bearers, let's say, on your team in battle, you get plus 10% attack and plus 10% hit points. If you have 4... Why is it... hang on a second. When you have 3 heroes of the same faction allied together in battle, their attributes will be increased by 10% and 10%. When 3 heroes of the same faction and 2 heroes of another faction are together on your team, then their stats are increased by 15% and 15%. If you have 4 heroes of the same faction together, your attributes are increased by 15% and 20%. And then if all 5 are from the same faction, you get a 25% and a 25%. Now, it's kind of important. I'm just going to turn that off. Alright, so, as an example here, okay. I've got, on this account, I have 3 legendaries, right? So I've got her... Yep, the Heir of Ash and Fire. I've got her and her. So I actually have 4 light bearers and then her on my team right now, so I'm getting a 15% attack and a 20% hit point bonus. Now, if I just took her out, and let's say I took this guy, then I would have 5 light bearer heroes, and I would get 25% and 25%. But in my experience, it's better to have a stronger single legendary monster. It depends. You gotta mess with it and try it out. But generally, if you've got legendary monsters versus elites or elite pluses, even if you don't get the factional advantage, the top level factional advantage, it's still better with what I'm doing. Like, for example, I'm doing right now. Let's see here. She probably could be leveled up again. Yeah, trying to get people caught up. Just real quick, let's see if I got... Let's do some enhancements. Just doing all my normal daily stuff. Gotta make sure I do that. Always make sure you do your daily quests. Doing that kind of stuff is like a huge part of the game. I mean, being that it's an AFK game and that you kind of level up your people by not being logged in, you have to find the right balance of being logged in and not being logged in. Typically after a new day I spend a couple hours on, depending on if the Arcane Labyrinth is open right now or not. Make sure you always do your bounty board quests. I'll do that stuff later. Always do your freebies in the Arena of Heroes. And then if you feel like, I usually try to save tickets for a little while until I can do like a larger, more aggressive week. But always do your freebies there. We'll let that go for a second. I should win that. Let's see, what else do I want to cover? Oh yeah, so I know. As soon as this is over, I'll go show you the other thing I wanted to cover. So definitely always make sure you do your dailies. If you get so like when you first start playing after like day like 5 or 6, they give you 10 of these factional scrolls. The way these work is each day a different faction is on there. So if you're, for instance, after Graveborn, like you want to build focus towards like Graveborn, then you need to wait, because they'll give you 10 of them. So you're gonna want to wait until you have a day where there's Graveborn, and then summon on that day, or just whatever you happen to decide you want to focus on. I like Graveborn and Wilder. I have another account where I've been focusing on the Wilders. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is about picking your monsters. This is my first account, and you'll notice one of the mistakes I made is I decided to go legendary with her first. It's not like the end of the world because I can use her to feed later. But the huge, massive mistake that I made is I fed Belinda to Muriel to make her legendary. That was stupid. That was really stupid. So, never feed anybody here in the Ascended tier heroes. Don't feed any of them to anyone unless you already have them maxed out and you have extras. Okay? Don't feed any of them unless you've already got a max Ascended. Because here's the thing. Okay? If you look, this person's maximum level is 240, okay? If I go down to legendary, the maximum level is only 160. So don't feed these guys. Especially if you're new. Don't feed these guys. So obviously the focus will be to get Ascended tier heroes. So like right now, there is not a lot of monsters in this game, or heroes, or whatever they are. Yeah, heroes in this game. They definitely need to add more. Like, definitely. And I'm sure they will be. The game's still fairly new. Anyways, so I'm gonna just leave this as a real short video. You guys feel free, if you enjoyed the video, to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Please, 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 if you have questions about the game that you would like me to look into and answer, let me know in the comments. Feel free to say anything you like, ask any questions you like. Please definitely do that. If you think I'm retarded and my voice is annoying, feel free to tell me that too. I might not give you a very favorable response, but you can definitely do that. Okay? Alright, anyways, you guys have a great day, and see you in the next video.